Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we return to Who Wears the Crown, a game where a little pawn makes his way to the top of a tower to claim his royal crown. Inspired by Bennett Foddy's Getting Over It, because if you fail, you fall all the way down. Let's dive in. Alright, last time we played the famous boards. Today we'll try the influencer boards. Boards from influencer chess games. I'm genuinely curious to see what games are featured. Okay, first we have XQC versus Moist Critical. Surely this is from Pog Champs. Let's start by jumping onto the actual pawn structure, and I'm going to take a similar approach to what I did last time, where I basically just played for a bunch of checkmates. Okay, so this is the infamous position where I believe XQC got checkmated on F2. Let's see what we can do about that. We are up a piece as white here in this position, so we'll just play knight back to D4 and defend the attack on the F2 pawn. And actually, I'm going to move my pawn all the way off to the side so he doesn't actually get in any trouble. Let's try trading off the queens. Easy peasy. And if we can trade off enough pieces in this position, this should be a relatively easy one to simplify. All right, let's move this pawn out of the way. Continue developing our pieces. F6 threatens the bishop. We'll just move it back. And this is just a matter of getting trades on the board. We can even actually just develop the king towards the center to defend d3. We get a4, we'll move the bishop back, and we just need to trade off pieces here. Why is this so difficult? Okay, let's move the pawn all the way off the board and just sweat the board for a moment. Let's centralize it as well. A little bit janky, but there we go. We'll play b3, and like I said, we're just hunting trades on the board. Nice, we've hunted a whole bunch of trades, and we are forcing promotion on the next turn. Nice, we promote to a queen. Checkmate really should not be terribly far off in the distance. We have the bishop controlling the h6 square, have the rook come down, and we deliver checkmate. All right, that clears board number one. I would argue we played that a little bit better than XQC did. We'll go ahead and follow the pawn now up to the next board. Sardos, is that how you pronounce it? Versus Ludwig. And I'm willing to bet that we can just stack a whole bunch of checkmates. I don't know if we'll need the jump. Okay, we'll need at least one jump, two jumps, and then we have the finish. Okay, so we'll just need two jumps, but I'd be willing to bet we can collect many more. All right, we have the white pieces in this position. Again, not a winning position, but a very comfortable one to play. The only issue we're dealing with is queen takes h3, which would force the king back, and then rook to e1, which is mate. So, in an attempt to not get mated, let's play pawn up to g4. We get bishop to b7, putting pressure on d5. We'll move the queen over because, frankly, that pawn is very well defended. We get queen to e7. We'll try for this trade. I'm very comfortable playing an endgame against this engine. We get knight to d7. Let's take on e5. Queen takes back, don't mind if I do, and we are officially playing an endgame. Let's bring the king towards the center, that's usually a good idea. F4, nice, we're definitely in the center of the board now. We get pawn to f6, we'll target that pawn with the knight. King comes up to defend. h4 looking for g5. Seems like we can destabilize the knight now. We get a4. If we take, the bishop takes, and then we have a free pawn on f6. So that is quite good for us. We do get the capture, and the knight decides to move back before taking back. Otherwise, we would have taken that knight for free. Let us take on f6. Yet bishop takes d5, threatening the knight. And the issue with that is that if they take the knight, we take back, we drop the pawn on f6. Now on the bright side, this endgame should be winning anyways because it's two pawns versus one, and we force we force a trade, but it seems they give us two free pieces. Okay, this is just easy promotion now. Don't mind if I do. We'll do knight method for this mate, stop that pawn from moving. So we want to keep the queen a knight's distance away from the king until he's on one of the ranks, and we can force mate. All right, we now have two super jumps under our belt. Let's see how bad this next position is. Oh, this is actually an excellent position to play against a weaker bot. We have the black pieces. We're already in an endgame, and this is from a Botez Gambit game. Okay, cool. I'm assuming the black pieces were the ones that gambited because we are losing, although there's a chance that it was in fact the white pieces. Biggest issue I see is we need to somehow win some of these pawns without trading off the queens, because if we trade off the queens, then it's very unlikely that we win this. Now, the issue with that is if we come pawn hunting, we could be just put in check a whole bunch of times. I think queen to b4 is, however, concrete. Wait, are we playing with the white pieces? Oh my goodness, we are the white pieces. Wait, what? Oh my goodness, that totally threw me for, wait, what? That's insane. Wait, so we're promoting here. Oh my goodness, we're the white pieces. So maybe it was the white pieces that did the Botez Gambit. Holy smoke, so black's promoting on g8. This threw me for a total loop. Okay, we're promoting on this square. That's insane. Okay, let me take a moment to reorient. This is absolutely insane. You never see all of these pawns so close to promotion with so many black pawns also that close to promotion. Okay, that is bonkers. But okay, now that we've correctly oriented ourselves, this is an even easier victory. We can just promote, grab that queen. We'll go ahead and block with the other queen. Queen to f4 is check. We can move down. Okay, our opponent promotes, but that is just free. King moves out of the way. We can force a queen trade with check. Free queen, don't mind if I do. And this is just an easy victory. We'll just check until it's mate. Nice, and with that we get our third boost, and we haven't actually used any of them, but we'll have to cross to this next board. Let's see where we actually have to land. D2 is probably a good enough spot, so where we are is probably fine. We'll hit E to activate it, hold down, and release. Nice. All right, we go all the way up to the knight. Oh, and this is a Gotham Chess versus Hikaru game. Gotham with the white pieces. Now, it's a little bit scarier because in these positions, if we somehow fall off of one of our pieces, it's over for us. So let's stay on this knight. I don't anticipate this knight moving anytime soon. How does H3 look here? Bishop sack, pawn takes, rook check, king moves over, bishop check, or rook G8. It's a terrible position for us. Okay, so it probably shouldn't be a shocker that Hikaru is winning in this position. Although I've just noticed this pawn actually disconnects the queen. The queen has no way to get into the attack. So what about G3? Rook to H3, knight to F4. That is very playable as far as I can tell. Yeah, let's play G3. We get rook to G4 instead. Knight to F4, we try to trade off pieces. King to B7. And what if we go for a counterattack as well? That would be very interesting. Again, we just can't let this pawn fall by accident. Let's move him over for the time being. We'll go A4. We get rook back. If we take now, the bishop takes back and we're skewered. So C4 first. Bishop takes, which means we have to move the rook over, or rather the pawn over so the rook can take. This is fine. Queen to A4 pins the A4 pawn to the rook. And frankly, if this gets a little bit too messy, I may just consider going for the boost up to the next boards. Because I have 3 under my belt, I have no need. Well, do I have 3 under my belt? Oh, you don't stack them. You only use them one at a time. Oh, that's what I'm starting to realize. Oh, I think I got that wrong in the last episode as well. You don't stack them, you just have one and then you're done. Okay, so let's see. If there are any other checkmates we can get that are maybe easier than this one, then we might be in a better spot. Like down here, for example, this board looks pretty promising. Northern Lion versus Benji Fishy. This is probably very winnable against a 1300 Stockfish bot. So let's take. Nice, the knight does take back. And frankly, any waiting moves here that just improve our position in general should be enough to get the advantage. We'll control the E4 square. Start looking for a kingside attack. Okay, we get rook over. We'll target the pawn on A5. Centralize the knight. King does go back. Should probably be fighting for the center. It's a little bit tricky to do now. We'll start with G5. Knight goes off to the side. Play rook to H2. Nice, and we should put some pressure on that knight. G6 does defend it, however. Okay, king to G4. It's kind of difficult to see what my idea should be here. Probably to put more pressure on this knight. That's only possible with our other knight. So we need a knight on G3, which is actually quite far away. And no longer possible because now we just kind of trade everything off. Although the knight doesn't have an escape still. So maybe it's still possible? Oh, knight to G3, we trade everything off into an endgame. You know what? I'm more than willing to play that out. Let's do it. Let's take. Yes, we're in an endgame now. Oh, is this winning? This is probably not winning. But I can probably make it uncomfortable for the opponent. Let's bring the king over. B3. Go ahead and take back. We do get this trade, fair enough. I bet we can finesse this. Let's play rook to A2. Okay, fair enough. Rook to A4 stops that idea. Rook back. Go ahead and trade. There we go. Now we have a mistake on the board. I don't think it's consequential, unfortunately. Yeah, we can try here to threaten the pawn. Oh, beautiful. And the bot does, in fact, fumble this opportunity. We'll play check and win the rook with the beautiful skewer. And we win ourselves another boost. Okay, we'll go ahead and take. Look for that promotion. And we can probably get a pretty easy ladders mate here in just a second. Let's make sure we're not stalemating. King to G7 is possible. Move the queen back. Check. And mate. Okay, so we've afforded ourselves another boost. And frankly, I'm very interested in using it. I just have to get far enough on the board. So, let's play rook back to F2. Pawn takes. Okay, we'll jump up. Let's make sure we don't fall by accident. Or even better, G4. Let's play G4. It loses the pawn. But the opponent doesn't even take, but now we can jump onto G4, and then F7, or rather F6. Nice. up to e7, and then we can just use the boost. Let's make sure we land this, however. And yeah, let's land this first onto the next board so we can afford ourselves another boost, and then we should be wrapping this up in just a second. Okay, let's line this up on the D file. No, let's line it up actually on the B file instead. Nice. Go ahead and activate that boost. Hold down space, and up we go. Nice. All right. We are now Cramling versus Rosen is this board, and Sea Dog versus Frank is the next one. Okay, which one of these seems more winnable is the real question. It's really interesting because I like Cramling versus Rosen because Cramling has an attack going here after g4. You know, the rook is looking down at the king. We have a battery here looking down this diagonal. The knight is relatively well positioned to jump into the attack. But the issue is we're down material, and one of those is a rook. So there's an open file, the back rank is weak, and that's not terribly convincing. Now the issue on the board above is that with the white pieces, obviously our queen is under attack. After we move our queen, there's knight to c2 with the fork of both rooks. I'm gonna do this. I still think we have better odds on this board, so I'm going to start by playing on this board, and if this goes downhill very quickly, then we'll find a different, or rather play on the other board. Okay, let's get this started with queen to f3. We do get the fork, we'll move the rook out of the way. Nice, they don't even take the rook. Queen to a4. If we play rook to b1, are we still somehow losing a rook? And I think the answer is no. Queen takes a2, however, is quite uncomfortable. Queen takes d3, and then we actually do lose a rook. Oh, maybe we are. But then we have queen to d7, which is mate. So this should be fine. Get h5, we'll go ahead and grab this pawn. a5. This king is looking more and more weak by the second. We'll start with b3 to just win the knight. Knight to b4, we'll go ahead and take. Queen goes back to c6, guarding d7 still. We will play, why not pawn up to b3, bother the queen a little bit more. We get queen to d5 with the trade. More than happy to do that when we are up a piece. Go check again. Trade some more, bishop to a3, discovered check, king moves over, double up the rooks. And again, this is just a matter of conversion. Nice, we'll go ahead and trade. We are officially up an extra piece in an endgame. We'll just grab all the stray pawns and promote. Nice, now that we have promoted, actually let's do it one more time. Might as well go out with a bang with two queens. All right, we will trap the king, check, and ladders mate. All right, now that we have another boost, we can get out of this, I don't want to say crummy position, but it's not my favorite position I've ever seen, I'll say that. We'll play queen c3, although with the boost, we can probably just hop on there straight away, so let's just do it right away. We'll go E, hold down space, jump up to this board, and we can comfortably climb our way past our successful checkmates to reach the crown. Nice, all right. With that, we defeat all of the influencer boards. If you guys did enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Let me know down below if there are any other challenges that I should do in this game, and I will see you guys in the next one.